Background noise at your end, please mute your mic, guys. Shashwat.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think there is background noise at your end, so just yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's start, guys. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
let's start. Okay, so the very first line, which you can see here, this one, right? So this is comment section. You can write down with me. This is comment section. This is comment section. Okay, in this section, you can write the information or a brief detail or just an explanation of your program. For example, here we have written addition of two numbers, which is the actual definition of my program. And how to write the comment? You can use two slash. Two slash is a sign or a symbol to give the command to the program, to the instruction. And what does it mean by that? That compiler will not execute this line. Whatever you write with slash, compiler will not execute that line or instruction. So two slash or a double slash is used to give the command to the instruction, and compiler will not execute it. So normally we use the two slash or a comment just to put the idea or the detail or the explanation of the particular line. There are two ways to comment the instruction. First, use two slash in your statement, and second, use slash star statements, and then your statement one, statement two, anything. Again some line, let's say again some line, and then simply star slash. So here, as you can see, that there are two different ways to give the comment to the instruction. The very first way or the very first type is a very simple. Simply write two slash and then write your statement. So this is for the single line. We call it a single line comment, and this is for the multiple line comment. This one is for the single line comment, and this one is for the multiple line comment. Fine, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, ma'am.
Easy?
Easy.
Yes. So see, it might be possible that when I'm explaining you, it might be possible that there are so many questions arise in your mind that why we need this slash, why slash asterisk. But don't worry, right now just get familiar with the terms, new symbols, uh, new syntax. Gradually you will understand this thing, that how to use and when to use all these things. Fine. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is about the comment section. So we are done with our first line. Now, explanation of second, third line. This is the header file section. Write down header file section. Header file section. To include or add inbuilt libraries. The second line, the syntax of it is hash, include is a keyword, then angular brackets and name of the library along with .h extension. Fine, everyone?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Yeah. This is the header file section. In this section, we normally add or include the inbuilt libraries. Why we need libraries, that also we'll see. So the syntax to add any library is hash, then include is a word, it's a keyword, then angular bracket, and inside the angular bracket, name of the library along with .h extension. This is the syntax. Fine. Guys, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the second and third line. See, here we have only two libraries we have added, stdio.h and conio.h. But in future, it might be possible that we add more libraries because depending on the requirement, we need different libraries. So the second line, which contains the stdio.h, stdio.h is a library. The full form is standard input output. Standard input output. .h sometimes we call header, sometimes it's a hidden. .h is for the hidden libraries. Some functions we will use in our program which belong from this library. We will also see that what happens if we don't add this, we don't include this library. So what type of errors we get, that also we will see. This library is for the console input output. This is the console input output. This is for the your output screen. Remember yesterday I told you that console means that black output screen. Remember guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So to control that output screen, here we have the conio.h and it stands for the console input output. Easy?
Yes.
Okay. Any
Ma'am.
doubt? Any query guys?
मैम वो दोनों वापस एक बार रिपीट कर दो ना, मेरा नेट कनेक्शन थोड़ा बिगड़ गया था.
stdio.h. This two, second
ma'am.
and third line.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Second line we have included the stdio.h library. We are going to use some functions from this library, so we have added this. stdio.h stands for standard input output. Some will see that how different input outputs functions we use from the stdio.h. Then we have second library we have included, that is conio.h. Conio stands for console input output, and console means your output screen. If you remember that black screen yesterday I told you. So this is about the console input output. And of course we will see that what happens if we don't add these libraries, what type of errors and which functions we use from these libraries. Now clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it was about your second and third line. Okay, so now you have the fourth line. So here, void. Void is a return data type. Don't worry guys, if you don't understand what is data type, what all this, just get familiar with the terms. Gradually you will learn everything, you will understand everything. The explanation of this program is only to make you familiar with all the new terms. Fine. So what is a return data type? It means this function returns nothing. The meaning of the void is, what is void? The void is a return data type. Okay, then what is the meaning of the void? The meaning of the void is, it means this function returns nothing. I hope you all are on the same page.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Done, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Then we have main. Main. What is main? So main, see the difference. Main is a main function. See the difference between the capital and small letters. Do not forget to write this brackets, parenthesis. So this main, what is this main? This main is a main function of any C program. Means whenever you see the C program, the program will always start with the main function. So it's a main function for any C program or each C program. Just write down this thing. Brackets or empty brackets, or if there is something, indicates that this is the function. This parenthesis indicates that this is the function. Whatever it is written before the parenthesis, it will be always a function. Remember this line, guys. Whenever you find the parenthesis following by some word, anything, it always be the function. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, I'm suppose not writing right now. So then just understand, because I'm recording this, so you will get the recording. So after this, we have the open curly bracket. Open curly bracket. This bracket, this is the open curly bracket which is used to start the block. This block can be anything. This block can be your loop, function, structure, anything. What all this, that we will see. So this is the open curly bracket which is used to start the block. It indicates the starting point. It indicates the starting point of a block. What is block? What is loop? What is function? We'll learn. Done? Guys,
Yes, ma'am.
you are writing, or better I continue? Is anyone writing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. No worries. This is done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is the 6th line. This is important thing. Just put the heading data types. Just put the heading data types. Now what happens? What is the meaning of data type? See, when you work with the computers, when you are writing the code, you need to give the data. You need to provide input to the system. So this input can be in any form. Input can be in any form, right? Any form means what? It can be numbers, it can be character, it can be mix, right? Mix of numbers and characters and special characters, anything, right guys? So what type of data you are providing to the system? What type of data you are inputting, that we call the data type. So suppose you are providing numbers, that is from 0 to 9. So for this we have the data type int. For numbers, to input the numbers 0 to 9, any digit, any number, we have int data type. The first data type is the int. Okay, better I write this way. First data type is this, and this is for numbers 0 to 9. The second we have char, basically for the characters, that is A to Z, and special characters, for the special characters. The third data type is a float, which is for the decimal numbers or a floating point numbers. Better I write float numbers, or a decimal or a floating point numbers. What type of numbers means? Like 1.2, 4.09, this way. Got it, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The fourth one is a done. Right now we will focus on only on the int, char and float, these three. We'll focus on these three only, and gradually we'll see, because there are still Apart from this integer, character and float, we have double, long, many others. Like double we have, then we have long. But what are the use of this data type, that we will see later on. Whenever we do the programs, and we will find that okay, here we cannot use integer. Why? That we will see that why we cannot use integer at certain places. But right now, because we are just starting with the programming, so just focus on 3 data types: integer, character, and float. Now the question, guys, if I want to input the age, what would be the data type?
Int.
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 Perfect. If I want to input the, yes, integer. If I want to give the input temperature, then what would be the data type?
Float.
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 Float or
Perfect.
double.
Yeah, double we are not going to see right now because many people don't know. And if name, then gender, address, that type of thing, for that type of data we use
Character.
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 easy. Easy, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so all these data types have certain range. Data type range that I'll share in the Moodle. I'll share that chart, the whole chart I'll share, where you will have the data type and its range. Fine. Right now we are not focusing on that part. So data type range I'll share. After that, you can see in your this sixth line. This is your sixth line, right? We have NO1.
मैम
Yes.
मैम आपने बोला कि एज के लिए इंटीजर यूज होता है, अगर किसी की एज 26 है तो वो मतलब वो किस में एंटर होगा, इंट में होगा?
26 comes under the int. It's an integer number because when you don't write dot, floating number, decimal number, means it comes under integer. 0 to 9 means no. 0 to 9 means any number, any digit. It's not only about 1 to 10. It's about numbers.
ओके मैम.
Got it?
यस.
The question. Okay. So after that, we have NO1, NO2, and some variables. Put the title variables. You can leave the space for data type range or right. It will have a one chart, a small chart. Okay, so guys, guys. Again, internet issues. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So last variables, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's start with the variables. We just put the title variables. So here we have in this program, we have total 3 variables, NO1, NO2 and sum. Now let's understand that why we need variables. So for that, I'm just sharing my screen just to understand the concept of variable. Can you see the whiteboard, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now what happens when we work with the computer and when of course when you input the data, when you read the data from the device, in that case we have a memory. You'll always have the memory. Without memory we cannot work, right? Normally we say that 4 GB RAM or 1 terabyte hard disk. So what is all that? It is all about the memory, right? Where you can store the data. Now, what happens? Whatever the data you take from the user as an input, you need to store that data temporarily, but still you need to store the data, because when we will work with the C programming and we'll take the input from the user, of course we'll take the data temporarily to perform the job. For example, C. This is our program. Let me remove everything. Okay, so see what happens. So when I run this program, what will happen? First I have to compile and see, guys, when I say run the program, see, it is asking me for one number. When I enter 5, then I enter 3 and it performs the operation. Means temporarily I have stored this data. Can I say that temporarily I'm storing 5 and 3 inside the system?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Because when you give the input to the computer, it requires some space to hold that data. Even to perform that operation, it requires space. And so we have variable concept. I repeat, you give the input to the computer, it requires you when you provide the data to the computer, it requires the space to hold that data, and that space is nothing but this memory. Now, understood everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this memory blocks have some address. Let's say for example, this have 3H01C. This is just a rough idea, rough address. This is not the correct one. Let's say this location's address is DD5609. This location's address is, let's say, CH310. And of course, this type of address you will find. We will also learn that how to see the address of particular location. So now tell me, guys, is it possible for us to remember all these addresses? Is it possible for us?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
We talk about the address of our home. We normally write house number, then society name, then lane, then area, and this way. We always use this type of address for our home. Do we use that geographical points like 22.5, 33, 9. Do we use this type of numbers? No,
No, ma'am.
very rare.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So the concept is the same. The concept is same because I cannot remember all this address of the memory. I give temporary name. I give temporary name to this location. So very first I'll give some name to this location, then this location and this location. Okay, let's give some name. Okay, I'm giving name to this location NO1. I'm giving name to this location NO2. And I'm giving name to this location sum. Right. So these are the nothing but the variables. The name which you give to the memory location, temporary. When you give the temporary name to the memory location, we call, what we call?
Variables.
Variable.
Variable.
Variable. So what are variables? Variables are, or a variable is a name. Variable is a name which is given to the memory location to store the value. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, as we just run the program, in NO1 we entered 5. So it will store 5 over here. We entered 3 in NO2. So it will store 3 at this position. And when it will do the addition, it will store the answer over here. So this is the way how computer stores the data inside the memory using the variables. Understood, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the concept of variables. Easy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so see, it's not the only thing about the variables. Still, so many things are there about the variables, but we will see them gradually. There are some rules, naming convention rules are there. That all we will see gradually. Right now, we are just, what we are doing actually, we are just understanding how to write the C program and what are the different terminology which we use for the during the coding. Okay, so next we have this term CLR-SCR. CLR-SCR is basically, okay, CLR-SCR. Okay guys, can you tell me something about this CLR-SCR? And here you have the brackets. What does it mean?
Bracket
So,
means
ma'am.
it is a function, and
Yes,
CLR, SCR is to
Clear
clear
screen.
screen.
Clear screen.
yeah. Guys, there is some background noise. Please mute your mic.
Ma'am, clear screen.
Yeah. So this is to clear the screen. But as you can see, the brackets are here. What is this? This is the function. This is the function which will clear the screen. What happens if we don't write the statement? What will happen? Let's check it out. Suppose I'm commenting this, means system will not execute this line. Now, let's see what happens. What is the actual purpose of the CLR-SCR? I compile and run the program. See, it is asking me enter number 1, 6, 2. Still I'm getting the previous output. Can you see the previous output?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. Again I am running the program. Okay. Again I can see the previous last 2 outputs. It means what? That it is not clearing the screen, right? I need a clear console. I need a clear output screen, and for it we use CLR SCR. And also, if you have noticed, when you give this slash to any instruction, it becomes little in a sky blue color. So it means system or a compiler will not execute this line. Easy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll take the next line. The next line is printf enter 1. Okay. See, I'm writing something. Print f. Now this. What does it mean? Again, this is
Function.
perfect.
This
This
is a
is,
function.
yes, perfect. This is a function. But here in this function, inside the bracket, inside the parenthesis, we have certain data. What is this? Double quotes are there and comma is there. So this is the syntax of printf statement. This is the syntax. This is the syntax for printf statement. Here in the double quotes, whatever you write, it will be displayed on the screen as it is. Whatever you will write inside the double quote, system will print the statement as it is. Then we have a comma. That is not the right now. That right now we'll not see about this second parameter, but just this portion, this much portion. So, what is the use of printf function? The use of the printf function is to display the message on the output screen. This is the use of the printf statement, and whatever you print on the output screen, simply write down, simply type that line inside the double quotes. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now see, how does it work? Right now it is written printf enter number 1. Now let's just change it. I want to write everything in capital. Enter number 1. So okay, let's compile and run. See, it's in capital, means whatever you will write inside the double quotes, it will print the same thing. Printf second statement is has not changed. Only first statement is changed. It means whatever you will write inside the double quotes, the compiler will print the text as it is. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one more thing. If you notice that after each and every statement, there is a semicolon. Each and every statement. Inside the curly brackets, all the statements are ending up with the semicolon. So what is semicolon? Semicolon indicates the end of the instruction. Semicolon indicates the end of the instruction. Just like in our English, we put the full stop. The similar way, semicolon indicates the end of the instruction. Now we have scanf. Okay, again the same thing. We have scanf. What is this? Because we have a brackets. What is this?
It's a function.
Perfect. It's a function. Now this function contains few things. What is that? Scanf, brackets, then double quotes, then comma. So here this place is for the format specifier. Format specifier, this place is address of the variable. So scanf statement is divided into two sections. The first section, which is double quotes, inside the double quotes we to write the format specifier, after that comma, and after that the address of the variable. Means what? See, suppose it's integer type data, %d is this format specifier. It's a char type data, %c is the format specifier. If it's a float, %f is the format specifier. So because in this program we are taking the input integer number, guys,
Yes, ma'am.
integer, and that's why we have used the %d. So this section contains format specifier. You can use, if integer, then use %d. If it's character type data, then use %c. If it's float type data, use %f. And the address of the variable, what does it mean? Means that where you want to store the data. So the first number I want to store in my no1 variable. Now you know the concept of variable, right? The memory location. And to indicate the address, we use the ampersand sign. We use ampersand sign, which indicates that I have to go to this particular no1 location, and I have to store or save this value. So whatever the value you will enter immediately after the enter number 1, that value will be stored at no1 location. Understood, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you,
Ma'am,
can
what is
you
the
please again tell the concept of and?
Please repeat.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the concept of and between %d and number 1?
Yeah, this one. This?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, ampersand sign. This sign is used, oh sorry, it indicates the address of the variable. Means whenever you find the ampersand sign following by some name, always understand that they are talking about the address. And no1, what is no1, guys?
the address of the variable?
It's a variable.
No1 is a variable.
Variable.
No1 is a
Okay.
variable. But when I
Variable.
say ampersand no1, means I am talking about the address of the variable no1. Now clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am,
So yes.
wouldn't we call this a reference variable?
Yeah. Also we can, ampersand is address or a reference. See, sometimes we use the address or sometimes we use the term reference. Both are same.
Okay.
Fine, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Then what is the format specifier?
Format specifier, it indicates that which type of data you are going to input. Because system needs, that I'll explain in detail when we will learn the variable in detail. Because when you store the data, suppose integer type data requires 2 bytes. Character requires 1 byte and float requires 4 bytes. So in that case, system needs to find out or arrange that much of space. And that's why we have a format specifier. Don't worry, we will learn the variable topic in detail. At that time, you will have an idea. But right now, just keep in mind when in scanf statement, two sections are there. First is for the format specifier and second one for the address of the variable. So, see, no1. What is the data type of no1, guys?
Integer.
Integer. Okay, integer. No1 is a variable, but what is the data type of integer? Here you can see integer data type.
Integer.
And yes,
Yes,
and integer data type, we have 3 different variables. Because integer data types format specifier is %d. That's why I have written %d over here. So the format specifier you are writing over here, it says about the data type of this particular variable. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubt, guys?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, mm, ma'am,
Yes, ask.
ma'am, there is printf function for print something. Then
Yeah.
scanf, what does it do?
Scanf is used to when you take when your system or compiler takes the value from the user, scanf statement will scan that value, it will check the data type, and it will store that data inside the memory.
Okay.
See, after enter number 1, suppose I have entered 5, so that 5 will go to the location NO1. So scanf statement takes the input from the console and it stores that value, that data inside the memory at particular location. And for here statement, the location is NO1.
Okay.
Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Guys, any other doubt? Everyone?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so this both the statements are right similar. Enter number 1, enter number 2. Only the difference is here I have used this /n. /n is nothing but the escape sequence. Escape sequence. We have many escape sequence like /n, then /t, then /b. We'll see how to use, where to use. What happens if I don't write all this? Let's see. Escape sequence. See, you have to observe and you have to answer me that what happens if I don't write n/n over here. Fine. I have removed the /n. I am storing it. Even from here I am removing /n 2 times. And save the program, compile the program, and run the program. 3, 4, 8. What happens, guys? Can you notice something?
There is no space between any two lines.
Yeah, very good. But what if I say, if I write /n over here? If I write /n over here. So let's check. See what it does.
It indicates a new line, SN.
New line. Yes, perfect. So the /n is basically used for the new line. So if I want to go to the next line, I can use /n. Fine.
Ma'am,
Yes.
मैम लास्ट टाइम मतलब इसके पहले आपने एंटर नंबर 2 के आगे /n लिखा था, तो अगर एंटर नंबर 1 के पीछे अगर /n लिखेंगे तो इसका रिजल्ट क्या होएगा?
यहाँ पे here.
हाँ.
Okay, now see. It will give the cursor. See, your escape sequence is basically for the position of the cursor. I show you. See this. See what happens. This is your console screen. By default, the cursor remains over here, right? This is your cursor, means it will type something. This always go from left to right and top to bottom, means it will go this way, in this direction only, and in this direction. Now what happens? It had started writing enter number 1, and after that the cursor position is over here, right? But I want to get this cursor over here, so at the end if I write /n over here, so it will give me the cursor over here. So basically your /n or a /b or a /t, all the escape sequences are basically to indicate the position of the cursor. Now see your question. Okay. Okay, so your question is this, right? What will happen if I write /n over here? See this. See, it is asking me next line. It goes to the next line cursor. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Earlier it was there only, but now it has come to the next line. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it was about the escape sequence. Still, we have 3 lines. Now this line. See, this line. In this line, this is
Ma'am,
my
one minute.
What
And
happened?
what were the other escape sequences?
/n, /t, /b, many are there. We'll see each and every escape. We'll see more escape sequences in coming lectures, coming programs. Whenever we
Is there
need,
any difference between /n, /b, /t?
of course, /n is for the next line, /t is for the 5 space, and /b is for the backspace. We will use, guys. We will use to put the cursor position at different locations. We use the escape sequence. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this line, what we are doing over here, guys, we are performing the operation NO1 plus NO2, and then see this. Okay, see, when you say sum is equal to NO1 plus NO2, means what it does, suppose I have NO1 is equal to 3 and NO1 is equal to 2. In that case, what it does, 3 plus 2 means 5, and it will store this 5 into sum. Why? Because here we have this operator, and this operator is my assignment operator. Also, we'll learn the operator topic in detail. Assignment operator. See, the meaning of the assignment operator is whatever you have written at the right side, it will store the right side value in the left side. So if I say A is equal to B, let's say not A is equal to B, let's say right now my NO1 is 3, right now NO1 is 3 and NO1 is 2. And if I say, this is NO2, guys. If I say A is equal to NO1, it means what? That I am assigning the value of NO1 into A. Always keep in mind the assignment happens from right to left. So whatever you have at the right side, you are assigning that into the A. And suppose I have the variable A, so now my value of A would be
3.
3, because my NO1 contains 3. NO1 contains 3. So ultimately what I am doing, I am storing the NO1 into A. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
this is okay. So this is about the assignment operator, and this is addition operation. I don't need to explain the meaning of the plus sign. So here what we are doing, we are simply doing the addition, and whatever the answer we get, we are assigning that value to the sum variable. Easy?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the last two statements. See, now we know what is printf. What is printf, guys?
And printf is the what is displayed on the output
Function
screen.
that
Function.
displays the message.
Uh,
To display a
what is
statement written
printf?
in
And
What
function.
is
printf is this
printf?
Function.
Function. Yes.
Printf is
function.
Printf is
Printf
a
is a
function.
function.
What is the use of printf function?
To
To
display
display
a
It
message on the
statement
displays
which is
output
the
code.
written in the
statements that are
double quote.
displayed on the output screen.
Perfect.
statement.
Perfect. So whatever you want to display on the screen, simply mention in the double quotes. But here the format, so basically you have two different types of printf functions. You can see different format. See, in this we are just displaying the message, right? Simply we are simply displaying some message, whatever we have written in the double quotes. But here the format is little bit different. Here we have double quotes. Inside the double quotes, we have one text, that is addition is, along with the format specifier. Then we have comma, and after comma we have the variable. What is the meaning of this line? Let's understand this. Okay, so my statement is printf answer is %d, addition or answer, whatever, and sum is the name of the variable. So whatever you write, guys, you have to answer. Whatever you write inside this double quotes, will my compiler print the text as it is?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Yes.
Yes. But lekin, if there is a format specifier, inside the double quotes, it means that your printf statement is going to print some data, and this data will come from the memory. Remember, someone asked that what is the use of scanf? So scanf statement stores the data inside the memory. Let's say NO1. So this NO1, suppose this location is NO1. So this is 3. My NO2 is 2. And my sum has 5. Now, we have already stored the data. Inside the memory. So this is the inputting data. Now we want to fetch the data. The term is fetch. Fetch means whatever you have inside the memory, let's get it out. Fetch the data. So in printf statement, if it finds any format specifier, it means that this printf statement has to get the data from the memory. But I have so many different locations from where I have to fetch the data to tell to the compiler or the printf statement that go to that particular location and fetch the data. So from where? So this is associated with this variable. So here I have the comma, and after comma, whatever you have written, whatever the name of the variable you have written, printf statement will go to that particular location and will bring the data. So now it will print answer is 5. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So basically printf statement are used for two things. Simply to display the message and sometimes the message along with the data from the memory. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt, any query?
No, ma'am.
Any query?
Ma'am,
Yes.
why haven't we referenced this variable sum?
Because we don't need to store, we are not going to store the value. We just need to fetch the value. That's why. And this is the syntax, the format of printf. Because in scanf we always require the reference or the address or ampersand sign, but in printf we only mention the name of the variable.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, you wrote clear screen function in the second line. So what if we write clear screen function after the GTEC function? So will there be any changes in the program?
Get ch after get ch.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, get CH.
You will not be able to see the output because it will clear the screen.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
See, this type of R&D you can do with your program. That what happens if you write, suppose if I write the clear screen above the integer section, what if I write clear screen after my second printf statement? All these things you can try and check. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
And the last statement, that is the get ch. First, let me show you that what happens if I comment this. What happens if I comment this? Let's run the program, save, compile, and run. 2, 3. What happened, guys?
एडिशन वाला आया ही नहीं.
Ma'am, ended.
Hello, what happened, guys?
वो सम ही नहीं दिखाया ना.
Yes, yes. What
It
happened?
didn't
It
print.
did not, yeah, it did not display the output, right? But see, if I remove it, now let's check again. And I'm removing the CLR just to check the previous output. Save, compile, and run. Oh, the output was there. The output was there, but I was not able to see the output. The reason is when I don't write the get ch, it will not hold the screen. I repeat, if I don't write the get ch function, it will not hold the screen. Or in other words, I can say that get ch is used to get the characters, or in other words, hold the screen. Easy?
मैम
Yes.
मैम अगर गेट ch की जगह हम रिमूव 0 लिखे तो रिटर्न
Remove
0
zero.
रिटर्न 0.
Return 0 is something different because we have already void over here. Return 0 is associated with this void term. If I write int over here, then I can write return 0. But return 0 and get ch both are different things. Get ch is a function to get the character, while return 0 is a return value for the main function. Both are completely different things. Return 0 is not to hold the screen. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So guys, any other doubt? And
No, ma'am.
finally, closing curly bracket, which is the end of your main function. This is the end of your main function. You're on the right. So end of main function.